We're live from the CNN News 18 primetime studio, brought to you by Green Lamb Laminates. Viewers, the Congress government in Telangana has decided to go for Allu Arjun's jugular. Why else would the Congress Telangana Jing Bang decide to at once open several fronts unrelated to the stampede case against the actor? It boggles the mind, viewers. There is one principal investigation going on. But there's a whole lot of other stuff now that has begun to pile up on Allu's door. All sorts of Congress wannabes have decided to prosecute him, boycott him, ban him, complain against him to the police for all sorts of trivial reasons. Some of them reek, viewers, of an emergency mindset. More on that in just a bit. First, a little bit about the Telangana police's interrogation of the beleaguered actor today. Allu Arjun appeared before the police at the appointed time this morning to record his statement in connection with the Sandhya Theatre stampede case, in which a woman had died and her son was left seriously injured early December. Allu Arjun's lawyers, his father Allu Arvind and father-in-law Chandrasekhar Reddy were also present at the time of his appearance. Incidentally, viewers, just as Allu appeared for questioning, a 14-second CCTV clip that doesn't have audio was released by the police, showing a crowd pushing and shoving as they funneled through a doorway. There you can see it, viewers. That's the footage. The metal gates on either side are literally torn from their hinges. The timestamp on the video is around 9:15 p.m. in the evening, which is 15 minutes before Allu Arjun arrived, unannounced, according to the police, at the theatre. News of the actor's arrival, the police have alleged, led to the stampede as adoring fans fell over each other to get a glimpse of the actor. While it isn't clear if the footage was released to whip up an anti-Allu sentiment, it has become the basis for the probe. The police duly asked several questions of Allu Arjun. Did he know that the police permission was denied for him to come to the premiere? Who took the call to proceed with the plan for the actor to attend the special screening despite the denial of police permission? Did any police officer inform him about the stampede outside? All these were questions that he was peppered with. He was asked, when did you hear about the death of the woman? What is the basis of the claim made by him, that is Allu Arjun, in his press conference? So all these things, viewers, he was expected to answer. But it isn't so much the probe that is the uncalled for nature of seemingly coordinated attacks on Allu Arjun by Congress leaders on issues unrelated to the stampede case that suggest that the party and the chief minister has it out for Allu. One can understand, viewers, that the stampede case requires Allu Arjun to be called, questioned. There has to be clarity. There has to be accountability. But viewers, this unrelated stuff that is happening now, as I'm suggesting to you, is beginning to raise eyebrows. The brazen intimidation reeks of heavy-handedness. The police summons for Allu for questioning fire barrage of questions before telling him he will be summoned again. That's not a problem. But Allu Arjun's private security detail Anthony is arrested for allegedly pushing fans. Also okay, not a problem. Let's give the Telangana police the benefit of doubt. But viewers, then you suddenly have, like Jack in boxes, Telangana Minister Sitaka, who begins to question the national award for Pushpa, cites bias against films with social messages, and says that he shouldn't have been given the award. Fair enough, it's an opinion. But it has only struck this man now. Senior Congress leader Thinmar Mallanna files a complaint against the actor over a scene in Pushpa 2 alleging it insults the Telangana police force. And he files the complaint with the police. We're expecting an FIR to be lodged very soon. And the FIR has also been lodged, or the complaint has also been filed against the makers of the movie. So the entire Allu Arjun group that made Pushpa 2 is now in the firing line. Their fat is in the fire. Bhupatti Reddy, Congress MLA, threatens to organize a boycott of all Allu's films if he speaks out against the Chief Minister. Now viewers, you think about it. Here is a party being led by an individual who swears by the Constitution. His name is Rahul Gandhi. He holds up that Constitution and he talks about fundamental rights, freedom of expression, free speech, and his acolytes, his MLAs, his ministers in governments run by the Congress want to deprive Allu Arjun of all those comforts that are guaranteed by the Constitution of India. How does this work, viewers? Listen to the Congress netas who have single-handedly created the impression that the government is tending towards overreach. Listen in, viewers.
Yesterday, I went to the movie and watched along with my team and other police officers. In that movie, particularly the swimming pool scene is very objectionable. It is deliberately insulting the police or cops, some security officers who are working for the people. So I requested to the movie team also try to remove this scene from the movie.
మేము చెప్తా ఉన్నాం అల్లు అరవింద్ జాగ్రత్త, నువ్వు ఓన్లీ వేషాలు పగటి వేషాలు వేసుకొని మరి ఒక చెత్త సినిమా తీసినావు. అదే మన పుష్ప అంటే ఏంది, మన సామాజిక అంటే సమాజాన్ని బాగుపరిచే సినిమా, అది ఒక స్మగ్లర్ సినిమా. అది ఎర్రచందనం అమ్ముకోవడానికి నువ్వు చేసిన దందలను చూపించినావు. నువ్వు మా ముఖ్యమంత్రి మాట్లాడితే ఖబర్దార్, నువ్వు ఆంధ్రోడివి, ఆంధ్రోడ్ లాగానే ఉండి ఇక్కడ బతకడానికి వచ్చినావు. నేను ఒక ఎమ్మెల్యేగా, రూలింగ్ పార్టీ ఎమ్మెల్యేగా మాట్లాడుతూ ఉన్నాను.
రూపం పోసుకునేటువంటి బిడ్డ యొక్క సినిమాను అద్భుతంగా మన ముందుకు తీసుకొచ్చింది. అవునా, మాకు ఈ హక్కులు ఉంటాయా అని ఎంతో మందికి ఈ సినిమా ప్రేరణగా నిలిచింది. కానీ అలాంటి సినిమాను ప్రోత్సహించలేదు. ఒక స్మగ్లర్ పాత్రలో ఒక స్మగ్లర్ పాత్రలో ఉండేటువంటి ఒక స్మగ్లింగ్ చేసేటువంటి హీరోలు పోలీస్ అధికారులను పోలీస్ స్టేషన్లలో బయట బట్టలిప్పేసి నిలబెట్టి యథేచ్ఛగా స్మగ్లింగ్ చేసేటువంటి సినిమాలకు మాత్రం కేంద్రం నుంచి అవార్డులు వస్తున్నాయి.
So Congress, viewers, is judge, jury and censor all rolled into one now. And they all say that the Constitution matters to them. Allu's case won't be the first where the government in Telangana is being questioned for displaying an, quote, emergency mindset, unquote, as its opponents seem to be suggesting, its critics seem to be suggesting. In 2024, tribal women and farmers landed in Delhi to complain to the NHRC. SC/ST Commission at the centre to flag forceful land acquisitions in the Chief Minister's constituency to set up a pharma sector, a pharma farm. In 2024, in Jangaon district, a tribal immolated himself to protest police high-handedness in a case over a domestic dispute. In 2024, in Nagar Kurnool, youth attempts suicide to protest alleged humiliation meted out to him by an SI. In 2024, Sikandrabad police lathi charged a large number of devotees who gathered at the Muthailamma temple to protest against its desecration. All of these things, viewers, are not allowed anymore. The Chief Minister has lots to gain by painting Allu Arjun into a corner. Make no mistake, viewers. Revant Reddy hopes to position himself as fair and just Chief Minister, the upholder rule of law irrespective of status. Aligning with weaker victims of public tragedies could boost support among masses. But viewers, there are many public tragedies that are taking place, and I just named 3 or 4. Revant Reddy hasn't aligned himself with any of those tragedies. Crackdown can be played as the Chief Minister's swift response to public safety, improving his image, and the action provides much needed reprieve from opposition attacks on governance deficit. Viewers, what's going on here? Is the Congress really playing by the book? Or is it exhibiting an intolerance that it claims is not part of its DNA? Fundamental question. Let's open this up, viewers. Let's open this up. And I want to go straight across to Syed Abbas and also Kamru Chaudhary. The BJP spokesperson from Telangana is also there with us. BRS spokesperson is also there with us. So we have a fairly well represented panel. Ishkaran Bhandari, Now, first, let me go across to Ishkan Bhandari, somebody who's a lawyer on this panel. Ishkan Bhandari, I want to ask you a very simple and straightforward question. We are dealing with an individual at the apex of the Congress who in Parliament swears by constitutional values. Now, I am not for even a moment trying to suggest that Mr. Allu should be insulated from the law. If he has a case to answer, let him answer. But we are seeing today summary calls for police complaints to be filed against the film star for a movie in which he acts, for lines that he hasn't written, for scenes that he hasn't conceived. Why? Because they don't like the way certain things have been represented. Now, to my mind, this offsets freedom of expression. Number one, hardly something that the Congress should be intolerant towards, given its own avowed belief in the Constitution. Then the policeman goes with the Neta to watch this movie. They're almost looking for an excuse to frame Allu, frame the director, frame everybody. I don't know of anyone who goes with the police to watch a film. Okay, fair enough. Then you have somebody who says you speak ill of our chief minister and we'll boycott your movie. So criticizing the chief minister is also problematic. And these people say sedition should be smashed from the Constitution and from any law book. Look at the contradictions here. No awards must be given because we don't quite like his output. Who is he? They say. What kind of movies does he make? They say. They are representatives of the people. The people don't have a problem with this movie. They're going and watching this movie. From all that I'm hearing, there are no real protests against the movie. No one's calling for censorship of this film. Ishkan Bhandari, what do you make of this?
Rahul, when you said that they are seeming to find offenses, it reminds me, I've forgotten the name of the communist who said, show me the person, I'll show you the offense. It seems to be going on that direction. Carrying the Constitution doesn't establish your relationship with it. Complying with it does. This appears to be a case of breach of the Constitution. That is why the High Court gave an extraordinary interim relief. That sort of relief is not the usual thing. The action has to be egregious for a constitutional court to step in and give a relief. But let's come to the first principles. With the problem with the freedom of speech. Starting from the First Amendment, we will not go into that. Majroo Sultanpuri was jailed. What was the poem? Commonwealth Ka Das. Not something very serious, but because you don't like it, you jail it. Or the excesses during emergency on Bollywood, where people were not given platform and we were in an era of very limited platforms. Or what is happening here? It is okay. Nobody is giving Allu Arjun a clean sheet. If he has committed some offense or there is some negligence, the law must take its course. But it cannot be that people in power or elected officials from the ruling party issue statements which are not legal or which seem to threaten a person, or you go into the next level where there is an attack on the house. There is a law and order situation. Should people be able to reach the house and attack the house? Whose onus and whose duty is to prevent that? And if you are not preventing it, what's the reason for not to prevent it? The third aspect is what a person says or acts in a television. It says his freedom of speech, freedom of profession, freedom of trade, to promote it as his right. And any breach of that has to be dealt with court. But what we are saying is not that. What we are saying is entire life is being attacked. Why did you get a national award? What was the reasons for getting it? What are you speaking? What is your next movie? What is the offense? That's why I started by saying, show me the person, I will show you the offense. That seems to be the scheme here.
Well, one communist leader also talked about useful idiots. If you remember, Ishkan Bhandari. Maybe there are some around to build a case against Allu Arjun. Maybe there is a larger game plan here, but I'm not getting into that, viewers, for now. Let's just talk about hypocrisy, duplicity. Let's talk about grandstanding. Let's talk about everything that the Congress accuses the BJP of, especially those who are chief ministers and prime ministers in the Bharatiya Janata Party, of being heavy-handed, of being against common civilities, against freedom of expression, a sort of authoritarianism, a suffocating, intimidatory application of governance institutions. All of this is said, viewers, very blithely by the Congress against the BJP. But if you really weigh them up against it, they are the ones who look as if they are complicit in doing exactly what they accuse their opponent of. So, Mr. Kamru Chaudhary, I want to ask you, there seems to be a pattern here. Why do tribal women and farmers have to take transport at great cost to themselves, come to Delhi to move the NHRC, to seek relief from the SC/ST Commission, to flag forceful land acquisition in the Chief Minister's constituency? And if these subjects are going to be doing this, it tells you a little bit about how constricting the nature of governance there is in Telangana today under Revanth Reddy. His own constituents are fleeing the state.
Now, what has that got to do with today's debate, please? Can you explain it?
Let me explain it to you. Maybe you didn't understand my point.
Yes.
I'm talking about an ecosystem there which seems to be repressive. An MLA says, we will ban your movie if you don't kowtow to the Chief Minister. He's saying it very brazenly,
I got
sir.
your point.
No, hang on. Is this not
Ah.
the sign of a dictatorship?
Well, I got your point. Where you are moving the actual design with which you have started your debate, and the angle which it is proceeding out here. Let me just explain a few things out here. You see, if it was vindictiveness against Mr. Allu Arjun out here by the Congress government or Mr. Revanth Reddy, then already the Telangana Electricity Board would have landed at Allu Arjun's house. 1.9 crore bill would have been slammed on him. His steps to his house would have been bulldozed so far right now. Unlike his movies being banned, like Narottam Mishra, the Home Minister of Madhya Pradesh, who banned the movie just because there was one song Besharam Rang out here, then nobody talks about that. But today, 30 people have lost their life in Jaipur because of the negligent driving of an oil tanker. 15 people have lost their life in Mumbai because an Indian Navy rammed into a ferry out there. There is not a single question of accountability out here. When Telangana government is trying to fix the accountability and responsibility on who is actually responsible for the death of that one lady out there, why can't you understand? If we had any vindictiveness against Allu Arjun, he would not have been made an accused number 11. He would have been made an accused number 1 out here. Let the investigation proceed out here.
Okay.
I can assure you and your viewers that the law is taking its own course. There is not a single iota of vindictiveness from the Congress government out here.
Okay.
If he is clean, he will come out clean.
Mr.
But
Chaudhary,
law is for the man, not man for the law.
Okay.
It's a simple principle of law.
Fair enough. Mr. Chaudhary, look, you said, had there been vengefulness, 1.9 crore bill would have been slapped, electricity bill would have been slapped, the house bulldozed, some extraordinary measures would have been taken. This is what you said, right? So let me ask you, sir.
Happening.
His home, Allu Arjun's home, was pelted with stones by whom? By a mob being led by a Congress.
No. Wait, there's
Let me finish.
clarification
Let
coming.
me just finish.
Already
Let me
a
finish.
clarification.
Sir, give me 30 seconds. You can come back with. I'm not going to take your time, sir. Just give me. Let me put down some points. You can rebut them. Make a note of them. Rebut them all. I am not going to stop you. If this was the case, as you say, 1.9 crore bill would have been slapped, the house would have been bulldozed. In fact, worse has happened. Let me tell you, sir, his house is pelted with stones, and I can show you those pictures. The person who was leading that entire brigade of vandals who took the law into their own hands, sir, was a Congress leader, and there he is standing right next to Revanth Reddy. Yes, he's a floor crosser, but he was certainly with Revanth Reddy now. He is the district president of the constituency that Revanth Reddy comes from. Number one, Allu Arjun was wrongfully arrested, so much so that an extraordinary relief was granted to him by the High Court with a censure, a rap on the knuckles, sir, for the government not following procedure. 3, he was picked up 9 days after this incident. There wasn't any relation between the provocation and the timing of the action. It looked arbitrary. And you say, sir, yes, justice must be done. I'm not against it, but it also must seem to be done. My problem in Telangana right now is that justice is not seen to be done. You have individuals who are suddenly clawing at Allu Arjun. Am I mistaken, sir?
No, that's your perception out here. It's never the case like that. Unlike you see, there was one incident in North India where people pelted stones at Asaduddin Owaisi's house in New Delhi. But the same guy was found to be active member of the Bharatiya Janata Party. So should
two wrongs don't make a right, sir. Let me be very clear. If that was wrong, this is wrong.
These people, 6 of them have been arrested.
Would you not agree, sir, that justice must also seem to be done?
But
is that not a shibboleth that we are aware of?
The tone of your debate tonight.
No, there is no tone, sir. These questions have been prompted by actions. No, 1 second, Mr. Chaudhary, please.
I believe you are wrong in that.
Okay, fine. That's your opinion.
No,
but I am basing my I am basing my extrapolations on hard facts. These things have happened. There are members of Mr. Revanth Reddy's cabinet who have come out and said ghastly things. There are others who are trying to frame him in a case where his liberty to express himself is going to be constricted, which is guaranteed to him by the Constitution of India, which is what Rahul Gandhi holds up day in, day out. Isn't that a contradiction? That was the larger question. Mr. Abbas, where do you come in on this? And let me bring in Rachna Reddy as also the spokesperson of the BRS.
Rahul Sahab.
Yes, sir.
Rahul Sahab, over the last 3 days, I've been a part of over 20 debates on the same front.
Congratulations to you.
2 minutes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Kindly allow me 2 minutes.
You are more in demand than Allu Arjun.
Thank you, sir. Well, God willingly. Now, coming straight to the point, beat Allu Arjun, beat Amitabh Bachchan, or even Amir Khan. No one, no star, no celebrity, including the Chief Minister or the Prime Minister, are above the law and order. The fact of the matter, had it been the same Revanth Reddy who'd used the situation with kid glove and would have been kind to Mr. Allu Arjun, the same BRS BJP leaders would say that, oh, the Congress culture, the Shehzada culture favors the VVIP culture. Now, coming to the point that my good friend Ishkaran Bhandari spoke about. Well, yes, sir, you've spoken about what Malana said, the leader of Congress, what the other leader said, Bhupati Reddy. But why, sir, why do you miss out on a BJP MP of Telangana, Raghudandan Rao, who called the death of a lady a small case? He said a small issue. There is a ANI interview on this front where he said the death of a 35-year-old is a small case. But we do not speak of that. Now let's come to the quickly merits of the case. Was there a deniability from the circle inspector? Circle inspector.
1 second, Ravina, you can rebut. Wait, let him finish.
30 seconds.
Yes.
30 seconds. Thank you, Rahul Saab. Appreciate the time. Now coming to the technical front. Today, in a categorical statement made by the Telangana Police Circle Inspector, Mr. Ravi Nair has stated that I denied the permission for the arrival of Mr. Allu Arjun to the theatre. It was clearly denied. What did the organizers do? In a spectacle of this event of this magnitude, they're supposed to meet the ACP, DCP of Circle Inspector. They did not do that. All they did was they took a letter at the inward section and took an acknowledgement of the same. Second point, there are 2 timestamps which have been
One second. Mr. Abbas, we are not going over... 1 second, just very quickly. We are not going over this case. This is not the point of the debate. Maybe you are still... got a hangover, you've read a script from another channel and you've come here. My point is very simple, Mr. Abbas, listen to me. The debate is not about that tonight. I am not stopping the police from calling Mr. Allu Arjun 10 times to the police station to question him. By all means, investigate him. No one is stopping that. My question is that there is a lot of other stuff that is going on which now seems to suggest that there's a witch hunt in progress.
No,
this is no. Hang on. You said that there is some BJP leader who's come out and said it was a small incident, this, that, the other. That's a absolutely, viewers, if he has said that, an objectionable statement. There should be no doubt about that, no ambiguity. But the fact is, viewers, by that same token, what these other Congress leaders are saying today, which impinge on the liberties, constitutionally guaranteed liberties of Allu Arjun, should that be allowed? Can 2 wrongs make for a right? No. And Mr. Abbas is not answering this question. Neither is Kamru Chaudhary.
I will answer that. I will answer that.
Rahul,
Tell me very
I will-
quickly. I want to bring in
Yes.
Rachna Reddy after this. Yes.
30 seconds I
Yeah.
will answer that. Absolutely,
Fine,
sir.
just
But
give me
but I
2
had to.
seconds.
I had
Do
to
you
bring
stand
it
up
out
for
in-
his rights to make a movie?
Yes.
As long as the Censor Board of India clears it, no one should have a problem with it. Yes or no? Or should we censor everything
Yes.
that we don't like because it is politically expedient? Yes or no?
Rahul Saab, undoubtedly, and I'm glad that you called out Raghunandan Rao, who in an interview with the ANI today, who said it's a
Bhai,
small case,
Mr.
and I'm
Abbas,
glad.
answer the question. Don't
I'm
deviate.
answering the question.
I put you on the spot. Now tell me,
Yes, please.
do you believe that Allu Arjun's freedom should be walked over in the manner that they are being? Yes or no?
Rahul Saab, it's not Allu Arjun, it's Allu Arjun.
It doesn't, I don't
And
care.
I believe,
I'm asking you the question.
No, we need to. He's not Potato Arjun.
I'm
he's
asking
Allu
you this
Arjun.
question, sir.
I'll answer you the question, sir.
So
The fact
do.
of the matter, Allu Arjun is no doubt a star, a celebrity.
Arey bhai,
but
answer
like
the
you and
question.
I,
Should
he's a
his
king-
freedoms
he's a-
be curtailed? Should
he's a
his
citizen of
no no
this
should
country.
his freedoms be curtailed? Should he be dragged now to the police for another
Why not?
entirely unrelated matter? Yes or no?
Why not, sir?
Why
There
not,
is a
sir?
death of a
Okay,
woman.
viewers. No,
And
this is
somebody
not
is
about the death of the
responsible.
viewer. This is
There
not
is a
about the
death
death
of a
of
woman,
the.
sir.
This
You
is
don't
not
speak
about the
of
death
that.
of a woman in a stampede. I'm talking
8-year-old boy
about.
who's backing
Okay,
for his
Mr. Abbas,
life.
look, you are
There is an
deliberately
8-year-old boy
obfuscating. No, I
who's
don't want to get
backing
into
his
a.
life.
I don't want to get
We'll
into
make
and
it
waste
all
my
about
time.
Allu Arjun.
Let me bring in the BJP national
We have to
spokesperson.
always
Let me
make it
bring
about
in
Allu
Mr. Dasoju of the BRS and also Kamru Chaudhary and Ishkaran Bhandari. Yes. Now, look, viewers, this is the central issue here. Go ahead, prosecute, probe, go ahead, book Allu Arjun if you believe he's guilty of causing this stampede. But people are not answering the central question here. What about the other support caste of Revanth Reddy? What are they trying to do? And how does that reflect on the larger commitment that the Congress makes to constitutionalism? Fundamentally, this is about that, viewers. And if the perception is that they are now no longer behaving in a constitutional manner, what is the guarantee that this probe will also not be shaped by a particular narrative, viewers, by a prejudice?
Come on.
This is the worry.
Raising-
This
no,
is the
that's
worry.
raising
When
question
extra constitutionalism becomes the norm, this is what happens, viewers. Everyone's rights, everyone's right to justice is curtailed, undermined. This is the worry. Impunity sets in. And I want to bring the BJP national spokesperson in. The BJP, why do you believe, ma'am, that there is an emergency mindset? Explain to us. Give me three
Here-
critical reasons.
Here, what is happening, Rahul, is I'm a lawyer as well. So here, what is happening is the December 4th incident of culpable homicide not amounting to murder or grievous hurt leading to the death. You can, as you've just stated, bring in Allu Arjun for investigation as many times as required, file a charge sheet, let the law take its course. But what gives Revanth Reddy? And in fact, at the beginning of your show, you have stated a few incidents. Let me add a couple more. In 2024, recently, an ST girl at a Gurukul suffered food poisoning and she died. There's absolutely no investigation, no FIR. What is going on about it? We don't know. Then, very shockingly, in Kodangal, Revanth Reddy's constituency, a woman commits suicide with a suicide note stating that Revanth Reddy and his brothers are responsible for her traumas and troubles and she's committed suicide. We are not blaming the chief minister right off the bat or on the face of it that he's responsible. But at least tell us what is the investigation. Why have these charges come about? What is the suicide about? At least come out.
So
fair
you're
and
saying there is
transparent
selective,
about
no,
it.
he's selectively excessive, okay?
He's absolutely selectively exercising it.
Okay,
And
Dasoju,
now-
Mr.
and-
Dasoju.
Rahul, please ask her.
One second,
Rahul,
I'll come to you all
And-
one by
and-
one by one, please. Mr. Dasoju has waited very patiently and I salute his patience. Thank you, sir, very much. In today's day and age, no one likes to wait their turn. So thank you very much for being orderly on the debate, Mr. Dasoju. I want to ask you, today you're in the opposition. Many people are saying that you're playing a role which is akin to hunting with the hounds, but also running with the hare. Had the opposite been true, had this individual, Allu Arjun, not been booked, you would have said exactly the opposite. You would have said, see, there is a nexus between the rich and the famous and the chief minister in this state. That was also something that would have been said. So explain to me, Mr. Dasoju, why is it that you today have a problem with the fact that a popular movie star is being hauled over the coals? What's the issue?
Rahul, first of all, I would like to thank you for throwing light on this very, very controversial subject where constitution is scuttled, legal rights of individuals are scuttled. So I really thank you that you're discussing at the national level, number one. Number two is, it is not about politics. It's about the legality of this case. It's about the manipulation that's being done by the government. And unfortunately, police also are acting like puppets in the hands of the government. Third is, you rightly picked up the right nerve that Mr. Revant Reddy, unfortunately, though he has come to power in the name of Praja Palana, that means the people's governance, but unfortunately turned out to be a draconian dictator in Telangana, where in his own constituency, where he indulges in brazen, forcible land acquisition, imprisons 40 to 50 tribals for about 40-50 days in the jails, and he does not want that to be discussed in the assembly. There are about 400 farmers died in Telangana in the last 12 months. He does not want to have a discussion on that. There are about 50 students, tribal students, Dalit students died in the various schools. He does not want to have a discussion on that. There are about 2 dozens of incidents of food poison happened in the government-run residential schools. He doesn't want to have a discussion. There are about 90 poor auto drivers died because of the lopsided policies of this government. He doesn't want to have the discussion in the floor of the assembly. He just wants to use Allu Arjun's incident to deflect the people's attention, to divert from his failures or to cover up his failures. That's unfortunately Arjun has become a scapegoat, is what I could say. The other thing is, it is a failure of the government that they could not provide appropriate security measures at a theatre to screen a show. What kind of a security that he will provide to?
That's a big charge. Mr. Dasoju making a very big charge, viewers. He's saying that all of this is being done to turn Allu Arjun into the villain when the glare should equally fall upon the police that was remiss in its own responsibilities. Now, Mr. Abbas.
Yes.
Convenient diversion. Keep piling on the pressure on one side. Amplify the charges against Allu Arjun to cover up for your own deficiencies. It's 8 kilometers away, Allu Arjun's residence, or maybe even more from this film hall. It would have taken at least 40 minutes to get there in a busy Hyderabad metropolitan. And therefore, you would have had plenty of time to react. You knew the actor was coming. A letter was written 3 days before this event from the theatre owners, saying that Allu Arjun will be there. There is only a verbal communication on a handwritten note to Allu Arjun saying that, look, we've denied permission. We don't know if any of this is true. It could be post facto. It might have taken 9 days to create a case to save the police.
Rahul, I have official statement of the Hyderabad police, and let me quote the same. Firstly, the circle inspector of the area, Ravi Nayarji, categorically denied permission to Mr. Allu Arjun to arrive at the theatre.
What's the proof?
What's
the proof? Mr. Dasoju. Mr. Dasoju wants to come in.
There is a letter of denial.
Yes. He's showing us something. 1 second. Let's listen in. What is he showing us? Mr. Dasoju, go ahead. Yes, what is this?
Rahul, this is the letter submitted by the Sandhya Theatre on 2nd of December to the police, Assistant Commissioner of Police, seeking bandobast. This is submitted to the police station. Now you look at this letter. I want the country, the nation to see the signature signed by a manager, official manager, signed by the manager on a letterhead, submitted to the Assistant Commissioner of Police. Now look at this letter. Look at this letter from the circle inspector who writes with his pen. It's a handwritten letter, and the recipient signature is this. The letter submitted for bandobast, signed by somebody. Recipient signature is this. We don't know who this gentleman is. Another very glaring fact that the country has to know. Please allow me, Rahul.
Oh my gosh.
I am referring to the judgment given by interim relief given by the High Court.
Now, can I?
1 second, let him finish. Big disclosures tonight. Yes. Mr.
The
Dasuch.
interim relief given by the High Court, the judge has very categorically asked during the course of proceedings that have you denied the permission? Have you denied the permission to screen the show or to not to allow Allu Arjun? They said orally, but they have not submitted any letter which has not been recorded. Had the police given this letter on before the screening of the show, on 11th, when the court was conducting the proceedings, the police would have, or the prosecution would have submitted that letter to the court, which probably would have been recorded by the judge. The very fact that the judge has not recorded that the police has denied permission to Arjun to come to the theatre, then this matter would have not been happened at all.
I see.
Now, can I
Well,
answer
one
that,
second.
Rahul?
So viewers just understand. Here's the chronology. Second, the film owner, the theatre owners write to the police. You saw the documentation duly stamped saying that, look, we need you to make this big bandobast. Our star and his crew are all going to be there for the premiere of this movie. The show, the curtain raiser, and when is that going to be? On the 4th. So 72 hours before, 2nd to the 4th, 48 hours before, this letter goes out. 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Viewers, no response. According to the police themselves, to the court. The court heard the matter on the 11th because the arrest took place 9 days after the event. Viewers, now viewers, think about it.
Where is this letter?
The Telangana police was willing to get a tongue lashing from the High Court, which it did duly. Ishkaran Bhandari, bear me out on this, but was not willing to submit a written rejection of permission. Don't you find that bizarre?
Rahul, man may lie, documents do not lie. If one side submits an application duly signed that we gave this application to any government authority and it was rejected, the government authority will tell its lawyers, because that would put the person they have arrested in some difficulty, that we rejected permission to you by writing, you still did this, you would have a higher mountain to climb to get bail. But if there is no written denial, it's a documentary evidence. Then of course the High Court took the order and gave interim bail. So I think it's self-explanatory.
There's something very, very wrong in the state of Denmark, so to speak, viewers, to quote Hamlet. Something very wrong. Something awfully wrong. And I don't see how the Congress that constantly talks about constitutionalism is acquitting itself in consonance with the articles of the Constitution in Telangana. Think about this, viewers. Think about it very carefully. Think about this very carefully. A person's life and liberty are also at risk. And remember one thing, viewers, this channel will not condone any stampede at the behest of Allu Arjun. If it is true, he needs to be made accountable in whichever way. And I don't think anyone on this panel will disagree with me. But the point is, viewers, you can't have an orchestrated campaign based on infirmities to protect
That's your
the people.
opinion, Rahul.
No,
That's your opinion.
I'm only
That's
saying,
your
yeah, it's my opinion.
opinion.
It is true.
Normalize
It is true. No,
No, it's not
please, one second.
orchestrated.
This is a fact,
Investigation is
viewers.
going
You
on.
cannot have
How can
an
you say
extra
that it is
constitutional,
orchestrated?
you can't have an
No,
extra
please don't.
constitutional witch hunt going on for a film star to prove something
Compare that
that
with Uttar
perhaps doesn't
Pradesh.
exist. I don't know. But the fact is, viewers, we'll have to watch and wait. We'll have to watch and wait. And I agree with Mr. Kamru Chaudhary. It is an opinion, but it's not an opinion, viewers, based on nothing. There are certain facts that are staring back at us. And I'm only being lawyerly here, viewers. I want to move on.